we realized, that's something, we cannot do on Bitcoin Layer 1, DeFi, smart contracts, permissionless, like building dApps. So that's why, by the end of last year, we thought, why not building an EVM compatible chain for Bitcoin? And that's, when we started building Merlin. And we launched our testnet in February. 5 days after the testnet, we launched the mainnet. So I think we are a Web2 team. We build really fast. We want to, break things and build something, people are not, thinking this is possible.
Welcome to the Edge Podcast. I'm DeFi Dad here with Nomadic from 4RC. Today's show spotlights the Bitcoin Layer 2, Merlin. In this episode, we discuss why we need a Bitcoin L2 like Merlin, how they grew to nearly $3 billion in liquidity since launching in February 2024, and how they aim to make Bitcoin fun again. But before we do, just a quick word from our sponsors who make the Edge Podcast possible. Power up your portfolio by borrowing, lending, and multiplying your favorite assets, made safe and easy by the industry-leading automation tools at SUMMER.FI. SUMMER.FI offers a curated DeFi experience to access the highest quality protocols and strategies. Discover new earn strategies for your portfolio in a user-friendly app designed to filter based on the tokens you hold, the networks you transact on, the protocols you trust, and the highest available yields. Learn more today at SUMMER.FI, the best place to borrow and earn in DeFi. Introducing Flat Money, the first decentralized, delta-neutral flat coin built on Base with sustainable yield that's completely untethered from legacy finance. Because DeFi needs an uncensorable based unit of currency. You can mint unit with RETH, which is held in the protocol's shared liquidity pool, where it's borrowed by leveraged traders. As a leveraged trader, you can deposit your margin collateral and go long on RETH. If you're trading in the perpetual futures market, you'll pay unit holders to open leverage positions. If you're holding unit, you'll earn yield from liquidations, borrow rate, and trading fees. Preserve your purchasing power and offset your exposure to crypto market volatility. Learn more at flat.money. Tired of hopping between tabs, searching for new tokens before the hype catches on? Try MATCHA.XYZ, the DEX aggregator from 0x. Matcha connects hundreds of DEXs so you can trade millions of tokens and find fresh new drops. Matcha works out the best route to save you money on every trade. Swaps are free and Matcha has everything you need to trade on-chain. Gasless swaps, limit orders, and cross-chain, all in one place. Search Trade Done at matcha.xyz.
It all started so simply with CryptoKitties and Maker on Ethereum, but quickly became complex with more applications and many chains. Today, everyone agrees UX issues are the biggest blocker standing in the way of crypto adoption. Introducing Avocado. Multi-chain UX redesigned from the ground up. The first wallet to abstract networks, accounts, and gas. One gas tank to pay transaction fees on all chains in USDC. And native access to INSTADAPP's powerful, custom DeFi strategies. Avocado, one wallet to rule all chains.
All right, let's introduce Jeff, the founder of Merlin. Jeff, welcome to the Edge Podcast. How are you doing?
Great. Jam, guys. I mean, it's late night in Singapore, but happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us so late, your time, Jeff. So we're excited to talk about Merlin as a Bitcoin native L2 today. So as of this recording, Merlin has attracted around 2.8 billion in value that's deposited onto the network. That's an impressive milestone. And so hopefully our conversation will help folks to understand just how you got there in the first place. So Jeff, why don't we start out with just a little bit more about like the founding of Merlin, maybe even a little bit about how you got into crypto, whatever you're willing to share. But let's talk about the history of founding Merlin.
Yeah, I mean, I was a Web2 guy, for 12 years. I was like doing startups in Web2. But I mean, I bought my first Bitcoin in like 2013 because my main investor, IDG, they invested in Coinbase and Ripple back in 2012, I think. So, they introduced me to Bitcoin. I read the Bitcoin white paper. So I bought like lots of Bitcoin and other like shitcoins, along the way, experiencing the ICO, era, DeFi, summer, NFT, GameFi. So I basically experienced like everything. And all my friends, they're in crypto, they make like tons of money and stuff. But I was doing my Web2 job for like 12 years. And, last year when I first saw ordinals, I was like attracted to it like immediately because I think, building something on Bitcoin is very exciting for me. So we started building like lots of free dApps on Bitcoin Layer 1. We build like recursivers, we build BitMap.game, we build BRC420. We get like millions of users. We have like free inscribed assets like Bitmap, like BRC420, going up, to $1 billion market cap. Lots of people make some money. They're happy. And then, we realize, that's something, we cannot do on Bitcoin Layer 1, DeFi, like smart contracts, permissionless, like building dApps. So that's why, by the end of last year, we thought, why not building a EVM compatible chain for Bitcoin? And that's, when we started building Merlin. And we launched our testnet in February. 5 days after the testnet, we launched the mainnet. So I think we are a Web2 team. We build really fast. We want to, break things and build something, people are not, thinking this is possible. And here we are. And like 3 months after, the launch, I think we achieved many cool stuff. We experienced, lots of ups and downs. But yeah, I mean, as a Web2 guy, I think last year for me was pretty exciting. Yeah.
Jeff, just to like reiterate a little bit of that, maybe explain with your experience with Bitmap and maybe just tell us a bit more about what Bitmap is, but what you were doing there that kind of led you to realize, okay, I think I need to build a layer 2, because I'm assuming that was kind of like the genesis of that kind of thought pattern there. And then also if you can just kind of tell us like, what is a Bitcoin L2 in relation to maybe like an Ethereum L2?
Yeah, of course. First, Bitmap is something, invented, by the community, by Bitoshi. And he just raised the idea of each Bitcoin block can have a unique asset, which is Bitmap. So for example, right now, if it's like 800,000 block, you can inscribe for free. Everyone can inscribe a free Bitmap, like 800,000 Bitmap. So it's a very decentralized asset. Everyone can inscribe that for free, and first is first. And when you have this asset, basically, like you can do anything about it. I mean, people think this is a domain name. People think this is a map in the Bitcoin metaverse. People think this can be a TCP/IP protocol for Bitcoin. So people put lots of their thoughts into this. So that's why, I love Bitcoin, because, we have the asset first and we put our imagination into this thing. Not, in Ethereum, people, they have a founder, they have a vision, they build something and they sell this stuff to the users. But in Bitcoin, it's the other way around. It's bottom up. It's, from the wisdom of community. And we chose that asset. We didn't invent this asset, but we chose to build for this asset. We built an on-chain game engine. We built the metaverse, decentralized, free to use. Everyone who has Bitmap or have multiple Bitmaps can create, games, marketplace, chatting room, like this Zoom call and stuff on the Bitmaps. So we build these products for 6 months. We do upgrade every week and we get like lots of users. And our, lab chose Bitmap Tech as a name because we think this represents the idea, the core value of Bitcoin, bottom up, the decentralized, free to use. And one of the reasons we start building Merlin Chain is like we figure out like we cannot add value to Bitmaps on layer 1. Everybody come here to use, have fun, lots of, tractions, volume from users, but we cannot add value to this particular asset. But on layer 2, if you're building a metaverse, if you're building something related to this asset, you can actually have a like tokenomics. I mean, I hate the word, but you can actually do have a tokenomics to this asset and to, make everyone, happy when the asset is going up. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons we start building Merlin Chain. And I think layer 2 is more like a branding thing, to be honest. We call ourselves Sidechain from the very beginning date. We tell everyone we're a Sidechain because in Ethereum theory, layer 2 is something you share the same security level of layer 1, which is, Ethereum, but, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. But nobody can share the same security of Bitcoin. It's very obvious. When I go to Twitter space, some other founders say, oh, we share the same security of layer 1. We have better security than Bitcoin layer 1. I mean, that's just a lie. So everyone is a sidechain, using MPC solution, multi-sig. But the thing is, you can create a scaling solution for Bitcoin. Because on Bitcoin layer 1, you can only do certain transactions every block. And every block is like 10 minutes. And when the gas fee is high, it's crazy. For example, Bitmap is about like $60. But in April, if you trade one Bitmap, you have to spend $200 gas fee. So you are spending $200 gas fee to trade a $60 asset, which just doesn't make sense, right? But with layer 2, you will have much lower gas fee. You will have higher transactions per second. You can put smart contracts, linking these assets together. You can actually build composable products, between protocols. And that's why, we want to build this Merlin chain for Bitcoin.
Jeff, so I guess like in your opinion, I mean, I think the community gets really hung up on these classifications and you kind of like walked through that pretty eloquently, but do you classify this as an L2? Like how does it differ from, I guess other L2s in the space, maybe other L2 approaches we're seeing in Bitcoin or even just Ethereum in general?
Yeah, I think layer 2, first of all, layer 2 is a made up word. People don't know this word from like 5 years ago, right? In these 5 years, we have, ZK rollups, we have OP rollups. So I think this is a progress. This is not a ultimate answer for anything. And I do think layer 2 is ultimate goal for Bitcoin builders. We want to share the same security level. Layer 1, no matter using ZK rollups, using OPCAT, BitVM, but we want to achieve that. But we look at Ethereum, it takes them like 6 years, 7 years. So if you look at Bitcoin, probably takes more time than that, right? But this is something we want to build. And we call ourselves Sidechain, but everyone else is saying they're there too. So we have to use this branding name. But to be honest, technically it's a sidechain.
I think best to call Merlin a sidechain here, but depending on your definition of an L2, like it can be loosely used here. Why don't we talk though about the features of like what makes Merlin so attractive to users? Can we go back to maybe the basics of an L2 or sidechain? Maybe you can talk about like what are some of the innovations that draw users to wanting to use DeFi or Web3 on Merlin?
I think technically, we are EVM compatible chain, so this will be user friendly for like MetaMask. Be like, Ethereum people, they don't want to have a Bitcoin wallet to do all this like ordinals, inscribing. Like this is too complicated for them. So first of all, it's EVM compatible, which is not a new innovation, to be honest. But the thing we've been doing is to wrapping, or you can say bridging, these Bitcoin-related assets. So Bitcoin, Ruins, BRC20, Ordinals, and in the future, other protocols like RGB, Atomicals. So bridging or wrapping all these assets from layer 1 to layer 2, I think this is like the most important thing we've been doing in the past 2 to 3 months, because we will create much better trading ecosystems, with lending, with DAX, with perp. And you can see the numbers, like they have tremendous volume here because this is much easier for people to use. Even for Bitcoin people, it's going to be much easier for them to trade on layer 2. And like until today, I think we're still the only Bitcoin layer 2 who bridges BRC20 and the Ruins and Ordinals. And also technically we're doing the ZK rollups. I think we're still the only one who are generating ZK proofs. We have 500 ZK provers running every second. We're uploading these ZK proofs along with our raw transaction data to other DA layers, such as like Newbit, B Square, Celestia. So the community, the validators can see all this data. But the thing is, the Bitcoin chain, layer 1 cannot verify this data. That's why we say, Bitcoin layer 1 doesn't do settlements. So we cannot be secured by Bitcoin layer 1. But at least all these validators, all these, communities, they can see this transparent data. And another thing is, when we get all this Bitcoin volume, like right now we have like 2 billion, 3 billion, we are distributing this volume to other chains. Right now we have 20 plus EVM chains accepting Merlin assets, like Merlin Bitcoin, Soft Bitcoin, Ruins, BRC20. So we're actually redistributing this volume to other chains for their users, if you are a BNB chain user or Solana user, it's going to be impossible for you to buy, Ruins, even though Ruins is going to be like profits for everyone or for like most users. So you can easily buy these assets from Merlin or even on your own chain. So I think, that's something where like we start doing, bring volume from layer 1 and also giving all this volume to other chains. That's something I would say really, Merlin is doing and no other competitors doing right now.
Jeff, just like putting a few things together here, like I think you noted that you just got started with Merlin. Was it like late last year? Is that when you kind of like started building Merlin out?
Yeah, December. Yeah.
You guys must have like shipped and executed very fast to be kind of where you are today. I think The wallet integration, like the EVM compatibility stuff, like can't be understated. That's like, I mean, that's really important for user adoption and growth. But I remember for me, like Merlin kind of came out of nowhere, and I was like, wow, okay, there's like a Bitcoin L2, if you want to call it that already has, 1 to 2 billion TVL. I can't remember what it was exactly when it first came onto my radar, but there's clearly been a ton of like execution here, but there's also got to be some really good kind of secret sauce on like community growth as well. Like, how have you approached bootstrapping something that was, day one, I guess, zero attention, zero interest, and then taking it to where it is now? Like, what has been your method there?
Yeah, I think this is like the common misunderstanding, from people who don't know about us. I mean, this is not biased, but, it's a misunderstanding that we actually have all these kind of, attention and tractions from the layer one users. They know us from, Bitmap, BRC420, like BRC420, they were inscribed for free and they went up to 50K. It's like one of the, I think, not the top 3 most expensive NFT cross chains. So all these people from Bitcoin layer one, they knew about us. And I think first 24 hours, we have like 540 million TVL in the first 24 hours, which is like, and you can see the data on chain. No, it's not from whales. It's from like the normal address, chipping $50, $100, $1,000, NFTs, BRC20s. We have more BRC20s than every other exchange except Binance. So this is the like real movement from the community. Like all these sats, like all these assets, we have more than other exchange combined. And you can see, it's $1 by $1 coming to us. So I think this is beyond our expectation, to be honest. Like we had to have like 20 million in the first day. And, but I think like we're someone growing from the ordinals, like last year, May, we're nobody. We do this product that nobody uses and we grew that, from day one, and people see these kind of, credits and, the track of this team. So they trust us. They're just bridging their assets, even though it's an MPC solution. So it's somehow centralized, but people trust us. And also, like before us, there are 2 other Bitcoin layer 2s launching. So we were afraid, they took our TVL because we go to other chains. You cannot go to Merlin, but actually it turned out fine. And so I think it's like movement from the community. And if you look at all these, elite Ethereum layer 2s or some Bitcoin layer 2s, you'll find out, there are VCs talking about it, there are media's talking about it, but there are no users talking about it. If you look at their transaction data, if you look at, Bitcoin holders, it's like some like whales, chipping like 100,000 Bitcoins, but, not everyday people. So I think this is something we're coming from. And that's why people don't hear about us, because, we're not PR. We picked the name 3 days before the launch. So we haven't done any PR and marketing. And that's why we're doing it right now. But yeah.
That's an amazing stat, just sniping the name.
The lucky users who would have hopped on board here early on. I remember, just hearing about you guys launching, and honestly, you grew so quickly that I questioned, like, they must have launched way before this. And then I'm like, checking like a DeFi llama and realizing, oh my gosh, no, they're just totally new. This is what we all expected to happen with a Bitcoin L2 eventually. It was the story of there's all this liquidity that wants to be unlocked, in the form of Bitcoin. And if you give them the DeFi that they're asking for, they're just going to go wild. And so it's been remarkable to kind of watch your growth. I think going back to like how you grew to, again, whatever it is, 2.8 billion today. One thing that we've all seen with other L2s, like I'll use Arbitrum as an example. Arbitrum grew with the likes of GMX. Like they had GMX as this flagship sort of protocol. I think Radiant Capital also deserves some credit in that, but GMX was drawing users to the chain. And if you look at other L2s that haven't grown as much, before and during the bull run, I think they've suffered from not having a flagship type of protocol. So I don't know, maybe you can tell us the highlights reel of like, what have you observed among applications? Like which ones have driven more growth? And I think one to call out is definitely Solve. Like we've And full disclosure, 4RC is an investor in Solve, but like I can't say I predicted that Solve was going to grow as quickly as it has on Merlin. So
yeah, I think the honest answer here, I will make it two-part. First is like the pre-launch, and second stage is like growing stage. I think on the first day we were saying we're building Ethereum for Bitcoin, and people don't understand this because when you look at Ethereum layer 2s, they're actually doing things that Ethereum layer 1 can do but won't do, right? It's like they're all EVM compatible. So everything Arbitrum does, Ethereum can do it. But for Bitcoin, it's very different. All these Bitcoin layer 2s like Merlin, we're doing something that Bitcoin layer 1 cannot do. So if you look at Merlin right now as a liquidity hub, I would say it's a Ethereum, it's a layer 1, it's a EVM compatible layer 1 for Bitcoin. And that's why, on day one, all these users would love to go here because everything they do here, like lending, like perp, DApps, providing liquidity, like all these things they cannot do on Bitcoin layer 1. So I think this is like the initial need from the users. And to the growing stage, we have the DApps, has 1 billion over 1 billion trading volume. We have the perp DApps, something like GMX called Surf. They have $30 million trading volume per day, every day. It's like today, tomorrow, every day they have 20 to 30 trading volume. And for Solve, they were doing CeFi before, but I met their founder, in March. We just like instantly like hit it off. Like I never do this guy, but and I talked him into building, liquid restaking token for Bitcoin, and they grew to $1 billion TVL in just like a month, I guess. And right now they're doing this like CDFi with Ethena. I just read their, smart contracts. The number is crazy. They're already over $100 million into the CeFi with Ethena. So basically providing another yields for the Bitcoin holders. So, and if you look at Solve, Surf, Unicross, Merlin Swap, Avalon, the lending protocol, every other Bitcoin layer 2 they are working with, basically we create the standard. And all these projects, they just go to other Bitcoin layer 2s. And we encourage them to do so. We're not saying you have to build here exclusively. We're not saying that. We just say, okay, you can build multi-chains because we want that to happen. And we want, all these Bitcoin layer 2s to grow together. So I think right now it's like stage 2, but I'm thinking, stage 3 will be coming very soon, which is Bitcoin native innovation, something, we cannot see from Ethereum. Like, GMX, it's Surf from like of Merlin, and Solve is like, the LRT, kind of thing of Ethereum, but from Bitcoin. So all these things are happening before in Ethereum, but right now we want to see some new stuff like Bitcoin native stuff.
Before we get back to the show, just a quick thanks to our sponsor at Mantle Network, the layer 2 that pioneered the 5th largest LST with 1.6 billion TVL called MATCH. Since July 1st, Mantle is running a 100-day airdrop campaign called Metamorphosis to distribute a new governance token for the Mantle liquid staking protocol called Cook. The community can earn points for Cook called Powder by holding Meth in Metamorphosis and simultaneously enjoying other yield and reward opportunities in the Mantle ecosystem. Users can also earn Powder by staking MNT in the Mantle Rewards Station. For more details, go to the Mantle blog at mantle.xyz/blog and follow the 0xmantle handle on Twitter for more updates.
Hey, Jeff, is there anything else that maybe you're seeing built now in the community natively on Merlin, or maybe just even anything else that you think Merlin allows for that doesn't exist in the market that you're excited to be built? Just anything like that.
Yeah, I think there are like lots of potential. Like for example, you have Pump.farm, in the Solana ecosystems and doing like very, very cheap fair launch. But in Bitcoin layer 1, like you can see BRC20 have like 2 major meme coins, or Runes have like 2 major meme coins. The thing is, if the market goes viral on layer 1, the gas fee is too high and it's going to be impossible for anyone to launch new assets. So I think we should take over, the launching parts, launching all these, Runes and BRC20 on Merlin, and it's going to be much cheaper, much faster, easier to use. And also, when we're building bitmaps, we thought, building an on-chain metaverse or on-chain games for the users, because in Ethereum, the thing I hate is like I was a game developer. Everything is off-chain. When a game developer just chose to retire, every gamer just loses everything, all their assets, because all these things are stored in like Amazon or like Google Cloud. But with Bitcoin, everything is stored on chain. So we want to build something really composable, really interoperable for the users. And I think for BTC-Fi, there are lots of things we can do. Like right now, soft BTC and mBTC, are going to Linear, going to Scroll, going to Arbitrum, BNB chain, farming with like 5-6 different layers of yields, from Merlin, from Soft, from Ethena, from Babylon, from Linear, from the DeFi protocol. So this is like a new chapter for all these Bitcoin holders, because like before, Bitcoin holders cannot have any yields. And right now you can have like 100%, 120% APY by holding Bitcoin, which is like a revolution to these Bitcoin holders.
Jeff, you just mentioned mBTC. Can you explain what that is and where is it deployed?
Yeah, so mBTC is like something like Lido, So first we wrap Bitcoin, into Merlin as gas. You can spend that, you can use that. But when you stake Bitcoin into the Merlin POS systems, basically you have like the yields from network revenue, and you have the mBTC. So this is yield bounding Bitcoin, and with this yield bearing Bitcoin, you can use that to other like restaking protocol like Soft. And right now, mBTC and Soft BTC can go to all these chains, can do farm, can do liquidity, can do lending. And I think this brings like much better liquidity for users. And also, if you look at numbers, we have bridging, bridge out, we have wrap, all this mBTC. I think over 15 billion, like by today, in the past 2 months. And this is like higher than any other exchange, just after Binance and Coinbase. So I do think, having this kind of retail ability of Bitcoin wrapping is very important. Like if you're using WBTC, you cannot unwrap that into native Bitcoin. It's going to be very, very hard and waiting for a long time. But if you're a user of Merlin, you can, unwrap, like $10 value Bitcoin or $1 billion value Bitcoin, like instantly. And this kind of, millions of transactions, billions of, wrapping, unwrapping, zero security issues happened before. So I do think this kind of abilities really matters if the majority users of Bitcoin want to join this BTC-Fi summer.
Jeff, I have just a few other like simple getting started questions for you as like a new Merlin user. So what token do we pay gas in?
Bitcoin. I mean, wrapped version of Bitcoin, but we just call that Bitcoin.
Got it. And then for folks that want to bridge to Merlin, where's the best place to go, or what are some of the recommended bridges to use?
Yeah, if you are having native Bitcoin, from Bitcoin wallets, you can use our official bridge, which is simple, easy, waiting for 3 blocks confirmation, that's all. And if you're having WBTC or BTCB, which is the BTC of Binance, you can use our third-party bridge, like Meson, Orbiter, like Symbiosis, like there are over 10 different bridges, to use to bridge this EVM BTC to Merlin. And we bridge over, it will be Bitcoin on Merlin, so it will be the same thing. And you can, bridging WBTC and bridge out native Bitcoin. That you can do. So basically, we're actually doing all this wrapping and unwrapping for the users.
Jeff, what about the Merlin token as far as what kind of utility does it have, and maybe who received or earned it? I'm assuming there was like an airdrop back in the day.
So for this Merlin Seal program, it lasted for 2 months. And we're giving 21% of Merlin token to users. I think that's like the biggest fair launch of any layer 2. And besides this 21%, there are no other circulating tokens. Not from team. We have like 24-month cliff and, another, 24-month vesting. So no other tokens from investors, advisors, teams are circulating. So all these tokens are for users. And if you stake 1 Bitcoin in February, you have like 120% APY receiving all these tokens from 21%. So basically, we're giving all these tokens to users. And in the future, if you like stake your Bitcoin into mBTC, you will have the revenue of the network. So if we make like $5 million revenue on chains, this will buy back more and more tokens to distribute to the users who stake, to secure our network. And also, there's another part of the Merlin token will be distributing to these stakers. So basically, all the tokens are for users, and that's why people are crazy, because like if you do other Bitcoin layer 2s or like Ethereum layer 2s, you get like 2%, 3%, but with Merlin you get like all of them.
Jeff, one of the things that stands out for me as I hear you talk about like the vision for Merlin and all the traction in such a short amount of time is you seem very pragmatic about just wanting to build a network and enable, users who want to use Bitcoin in DeFi to have access to that. You don't seem as caught up in like the debates over like how decentralized is it, and is this ultimately the most censorship resistant like network. So that said, I guess like what else can you comment on in terms of like how have you gone about implementing a Bitcoin L2 or sidechain, whatever you want to call it, that caters to users? Like how do you continue to grow that, to 10 billion and beyond and compete with the likes of the blue chip Ethereum L2s?
Yeah, I think, Bitcoin is old, but Bitcoin ecosystem is like very early, like this stage. So we are kind of a team, just want to build stuff that users need. And I know users from the Bitcoin layer 1 needs a scaling solution and smart contracts. So, before February, nobody in the world, they understands what is Bitcoin layer 2. They probably never heard of it. And when we launched Merlin and people were like start talking about it, and I think in East Denver, everyone's talking about Merlin, but I was not there. And people are like saying, yeah, sidechain, this like centralized. They're like saying MPC solution, which is like multi-sig, is not cool for the Bitcoin layer 2s. EVM is not cool for Bitcoin layer 2s. But, after 3 months, everybody somehow understands how Bitcoin layer 2 works. And every project, from the West, from the East, from US, from Europe, from Singapore, they are all using Merlin solution. They are working with Cobalt Fireblocks to build this MPC solution. They are doing EVM compatible. They are bridging just like us. They are having the same dApps, like Merlin. So I think this is like something I actually experienced and thought this is pretty cool, just like move fast, break things. And because it's too early, it's like we don't have time for debates. We're not Twitter builders. We just don't tweet and try to be like the political correct. With this moving fast and break things, I think some bad things could happen. Some debate could always be there. But when you go through this year, another year, and when you look back, you will see, okay, these guys are changing this industry. They are actually building for Bitcoin and all these ruins, BRC20 assets. I think this is the only thing matters. And because we build like such like great TVO volume, and people can look into our solution, look into our doc, look into our bridge, and they actually find problems, for us. When we look at all this debate and critics, we know what to change and we know what to improve. And I think this is the only thing matters. I don't want blockchain to be something just like traditional finance, just like people have debates every day, politics involved. I think we should go back to, building and break things. And I do think, it's very, very early for Bitcoin. I think everyone has different ideas, should just build, come here and build and to prove yourself to be right and let everyone else to follow your steps to use your solution.
Catch the tide of the mainnet launch of Puffer Finance. Whether you're an Ethereum staker or an aspiring node operator, Puffer delivers the decentralization revolution with its cutting-edge technology. Start with just 2 ETH to unlock the potential of native liquid restaking and maximize your earnings. Join the movement now and anchor your stake at Puffer.FI. Teller is a decentralized protocol that enables anyone to borrow or lend using any Ethereum asset. You can think of a Teller loan as a DeFi cash advance, one where you can use any of your favorite ERC20 tokens as collateral to get an instant USDC loan. Discover the power of a DeFi cash advance today at Teller.org.
At Moonbeam, we're building a world where the wonders of decentralized technology are accessible to everyone. We're advancing Web3 integration through product enhancements, funding for innovation, and investment in our partner ecosystem. Our product roadmap includes ZK initiatives, tokenomics updates, and 8x throughput. Our $10 million innovation fund invests in startups that deliver cutting-edge solutions for RWAs and Web3 gaming, and our partner ecosystem continues to grow through grants and incentives. Moonbeams is delivering frictionless user and builder experiences to create the future of the internet on-chain. Join us by participating in the Moonrise campaign today.
What are a few of your favorite yields on-chain?
So to me, I would say first, bridge your Bitcoin to Merlin, stake your Bitcoin as mBTC, so you have the yields from our ecosystems, and then restake your mBTC into soft BTC because like they are not listed yet, but I'm sure they'll be listed, on major exchange. So you have the points and yields from them, and then use that soft BTC to do the Babylon restaking when they launch it in like June. So you have the yields from Babylon. I think Babylon is like a huge project, so everybody will probably do that. And then bridge this soft BTC with Babylon yields to other chains, such as like Linear, Scroll. They're not listed yet, but they're tier 1 blue chips of the Ethereum. And then use that soft BTC on Linear to participate in their lending protocol or DAX, because, their new DAX or lending protocol will probably have another yields and also, potential token issue. So with all these layers, I think it's kind of safe, like every step we make sure, it's like no bugs, no hacks there. And also you have different layer of yields. When you bridge back, probably you will have, soft token, Merl token, Babylon token, Linear token, lending token. So you have all these tokens and yields.
Jeff, before we close here, I just want to kind of get an idea of what the roadmap for Merlin looks like. If you were to kind of look out over the next maybe 6 to 12 months, what's coming down the pipe for users? What are you excited for? Any sort of alpha you can share with listeners?
Yeah, I think that like there are 4 parts, 2 parts for users, 2 parts for the whole tech upgrade. The first thing is we'll definitely, pay more attention to the liquidity providing to the fair launch of Bitcoin assets like ruins. I think this will drive people to layer 2 because, if you're using that on layer 1, you're paying like huge gas fee and not a lot of people are playing there. And also not only fair launch and like cross-chain like trade, like we're working with Dodo, you can buy all these runes from Solana, from BNB chain, from Ethereum, from Arbitrum. So provide all these liquidities, on Merlin and also cross chains. The second thing is, we want to pay attention to this, BTC, staking and restaking, because like all these Bitcoin holders, they are so hungry, they just look all these Ethereum guys get all these yields in the past 5 years, but they don't have the chance. But right now they have the chance. So, onboarding more retail users, whales, institutions. Right now we are working with all kinds of institutions to bridge their Bitcoin to Merlin and create this liquidity to other chains. Like even right now, all these Bitcoin layer 2s like B Square, B Layer, Bob, they are accepting Merlin Bitcoin, so we are actually providing liquidity for all these Bitcoin and Ethereum layer 2s. And for tech part, we're doing the POS systems. So, before Bitcoin layer 1 has smart contracts, because, they cannot do settlements for Merlin, we have to, decentralize our validators and sequencers to make sure Merlin is becoming more and more decentralized. And this is very important for us. And the last thing is we're trying to do these liquid rollups with more DA layers to be more transparent, to be more permissionless, to become our validators. So I think, these are the major things we're going to do. We're working 24/7 to make sure all this, will happen in the next 6 to 12 months.
Exciting stuff, Jeff. I personally need to dig in more into, I think all of the like new releases there on Merlin. And yeah, I forget that Babylon is coming so soon as well. I definitely am going to like look into that, similar to the way like we've all, looked into like an eigenlayer. So guys, this is a great place for us to wrap up. I want to remind our listeners that they can learn more about Merlin at merlinchain.io. They should follow Merlin Layer 2 on Twitter, and they should follow Bitmap Tech, which is Jeff's personal handle as well. And you can find that all in our show notes to reference. Jeff, thanks so much for coming on with us. Congrats on like all of the success in such a short amount of time. And I think, you're definitely realizing that like vision of the Bitcoin L2 that was prophesied for years. Like the numbers speak to the demand there. And I think it's still just so early compared to, of course, like, where we're going with this. Like there's just so much more to be built there on Merlin, on Bitcoin L2s in general. Can you just close us out though with like any other recommended steps for folks that want to get involved with Merlin, whether they want to build or just become a user of the network?
Yeah, I think, just be open-minded, have fun. The reason we start building Bitcoin is for fun. Our slogan for Bitmap Tech and Merlin is make Bitcoin fun again. Not great again, not expensive again, not make more money, just have fun. I think Bitcoin has lots of fun. If you actually try to use Merlin, try to trade all these assets, I think you will find, the very native, of Bitcoin, and you will have fun with community. So yeah, I think it's very early, and builders should come here to build, users should come here to trade, and let's all have fun together.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you're a talented founder or developer, please consider reaching out to our team at fourthrevolution.capital. And for future episodes of the Edge podcast, please check out our link tree at edge_pod.